Ownership is the new freedom. My name is Nigel Chiponda. I'm so excited to reconnect with you once again on this episode. Sometimes I wonder about what freedom really means because we throw the word around so easily. People say, I am free. Nations say, we are independent. And systems are built around the idea of freedom. But if we look closely at life, are people actually free? Like really free? Because when you stop and think, most of the people are depending on something outside themselves to survive. A job, a government, a company, a system they don't control. Something they didn't build at all, something they don't own and they can't fully influence. If your survival depends on something you don't own, can you truly call that freedom? Or it is just another kind of stability disguised as freedom? And you start thinking, okay, or asking, we really proceed without freedom? I think that is impossible. Can we really proceed? Can societies really, progress without freedom? Can we progress civilizations without freedom? If most people get kept by institutions held by systems that control access, resources, and opportunity, because you see, people can be moving, participating, contributing, but still not really free. They can be present but not empowered. They can be contributing but not shaping the future they live in. So that is where the idea of ownership comes in. Ownership is not about having property or assets. It's about having the stake in the things that shape your life. It's about creating security that doesn't vanish when a system changes or a job disappears or rules shift. And when people don't have ownership, freedom feels abstract. It's theoretical, like a promise you can't touch. But once someone owns something, freedom becomes tangible. It's in the decisions you make, the risk you take, the futures you can plan for yourself. So when I think about what if we really reimagined freedom as ownership, I mean, in a way where everyone could own not just a few at the top, where freedom is not limited by geography, status, or capital, but it is something that flows natural because systems are built for inclusion. Because if we are building a civilization, we can't just design it to benefit a few. We have to design it so everyone have a stake, a real voice, a real ownership. And that is exactly what we are trying to do with Chipies Ecosystem, right? Because freedom without ownership is incomplete, but ownership that is widely shared, verified, and protected, that becomes empowerment. People start thinking differently because they are actually included and actually own everything. They also start to act differently. They care more, build more, and plan longer. So it is actually very important to include everyone in order to see different kinds of innovations, different kinds of breakthroughs, different kinds of new structures in different societies. So when people own, they are no longer passive participants, they are creators, they are co-owners of their reality, and that changes everything, and that is very important. And it's not about wealth or riches as much as as much as it's about security. Why? When someone owns even a small piece of them, they don't feel responsibility, pride, and recognition. They start seeing themselves as something bigger than just the survival. And when millions of people co own systems, infrastructure, business, housing, then freedom stops being theoretical and becomes a valid experience for humanity at the scale. And that is the shift we need. The world as it is now teaches people to compete to survive and to hope someone else holds them. And that is very, very wrong. That is where humanity flopped. But when if systems could instead empower people directly by making ownership and participation the default, not the exemption, then people don't just survive. They thrive, they plan, they innovate, they defend their freedom because it's theirs. And when you think about it, like becomes obvious that freedom without ownership isn't just incomplete, it's fragile. Because you can't build lasting civilizations on fragility, you can't build thriving societies on dependence, but you can build civilizations that endure when people have ownership, when they are empowered, when they are free in both thought and action. So maybe the next version of freedom is not about chanting freedom or having louder speeches or abstract rights. No, maybe it's simpler, more be more grounded, real, accessible, human, and if includes ownership. Because when people own, they are not just free in theory; they are free in practice, and that changes everything. And that brings a real definition of ownership is freedom, a real definition of freedom itself that sticks to the real meaning of freedom. Thank you very much.